Slow.
Hey.
Sometimes when you reboot, you get it right. But then again, in technology, this is going to happen. I've seen this happen on like ESPN and CNN. And and I sit there and go, yeah, they must have the same problems we do. It's like all of a sudden it's like, no, I'm sorry, our correspondent has fallen off. We'll try to get back to him in a couple of minutes. And they're like probably going, damn the Wi-Fi in this building.
Why is it always blaming on the Wi-Fi?
Well, you got to blame it on something. In this case, it's the Wi-Fi. I'm Rob Akampora. This is the A Game from a Shared Universe Studios here in Red Bank. This guy, he's been on my show before. Did it 2 years ago. As a matter of fact, CJ, if you scroll up to the photos, if you would not mind, and I will tell you which number because they're completely out of order, but it better be there. There it is. Number 6. Hit number 6 for me because he was at the old studio. There we were. And it was a good conversation because Joe Sernio at this point was definitely in the zone. And you're more in the zone now than ever before. So congratulations on all the good stuff that's happening.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. For a man who got his start and continues to build upon my resume of alumni of all my children. I think I've had now 6 former members.
You've had a lot.
It's been crazy. And forgive me, go off on a tangent. Did you know some of the people that I had on, like a Bill Timoney or?
I did not.
Okay.
Some of them were before.
Okay,
before my time.
Right.
I was the Vincent Irizarry and a couple of the newer guy days. Yeah.
There we go.
All in Pine Valley.
Hey, but it's interesting. Once you're, and I found this out just through some of the fan pages. Once you're a part of Pine Valley, they know.
Oh yeah. You could be a no one in Pine Valley.
They
but you're
know.
Oh, yeah.
It's great. I've rarely seen that rabbit of a fan base, and it's something I find fascinating, especially for a soap opera that's been gone for so long, but they still crave that.
That was probably like some of the cool times on All My Children is when you walk out of ABC and people are standing there. No idea, because I was just like an orderly on the show.
Sure,
but
exactly.
I worked for 4 years, 5 years.
Right, so you had consistent work during this time.
Right, but I'd walk outside and sign some autographs. No one knew really who the hell it was, but at the same time, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool feeling.
Oh, yeah. But you're probably also thinking at that point, it's like going, wow, I can only imagine when it gets even more.
Yeah.
But it's been interesting because I think the journey is, you've taken some interesting twists and turns that I don't think even you would have expected it. And as a actor, as a producer, as an entrepreneur, I mean, you've got all of this covered. And when you were on last time, I really think in a weird way, CJ, if you can scroll down, there is the cover that he appeared on, and I hope it's still there. No, it's not there. It figures. The one, sometimes the photos don't download, but Swagger magazine, I give props to Swagger. It was right around this time 2 years ago when you came on. You just hit the cover of Swagger, and that seems to be this leaping point of where it goes from here to now. It really was sort of this. It sparked everything a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. That was a really nice cover shot. It was a whole weekend in LA and cover story itself, and went a lot into the acting part of it, but also into the
entrepreneurial part of it. Yeah,
it went into everything basically, and kind of started a little bit of what I was doing then,
right,
acting wise. So it was like kind of like the new approach I was kind of taking.
Yeah. And it's interesting because it really does dive into every aspect of you, from your success behind the camera, in front of the camera, and outside of the Hollywood mainstream, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, it really, what I loved about the article so much is it really got into what I was doing in the very beginning when I was about 20, 21.
Yeah.
To, what I'm doing now.
That's an interesting way of getting it up there, CJ.
Just put the whole.
We just put up 20 headshots of Joe Sernio from the. You can take it down now. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Look at that.
Oh, talk about going on the fly. Thank you.
That even
it was supposed to be one.
Like I said, technology. Anyway, you were saying.
Up a bunch of
I know.
Really nice.
There was 20 Joe Sernios there.
Me and my babe Holly girl.
But as you were saying, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the article it started basically. It told a lot of the story from the very, very beginning.
Yeah.
And at that time, 2 years ago, told the story of where I was going and what I was doing as far as feature film goes. Getting out of television, working and building up a company and getting into the entrepreneur part of my life.
Yeah.
And then coming back into the acting stuff.
Yeah.
And it told a lot. It was a really interesting piece.
It really was.
It was pretty thankful that they gave me the cover.
Oh yeah, and that's the other thing. When you look at some of the people that have made the cover, what did I see in the last? Jimmy Johnson, the former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, makes the cover from NFL on Fox, and I think McConaughey's been on a cover.
Oh yeah, I think they just did a new one too with I forget who was on the newest one, but yeah, big A-list people.
But... I mean, and I'm sure there's that part of you that goes, I'm flattered. This is great. Are you sure?
Yeah. You really sure you want me on your cover?
Right, exactly. I mean, look, you look great, first off, which
Thank you.
We know, but it's still that, wow, okay, to get that kind of juice, so to speak.
Yeah. I think they were doing a new section entitled Self-Made,
right.
Basically, and I kind of told my story, and I guess they liked it enough to flash it on the cover there.
Yeah, and it covered everything. I mean, like you said, and I'll be remiss if we don't mention Shoreline Digital Media, which is giving you a lot of props in the entrepreneurial end. Congratulations with the success of the company.
Thank you. Yeah, it kind of gave me my my foundation to get back into what I love doing.
It's funny because I remember when we were talking 2 years ago, that was the thing, because I was saying, I thought at first you were going to producing, and you even said, no, I still have this passion for acting that I want to exercise. You felt like you weren't done yet, was the vibe I got off of you 2 years ago.
100%. Yeah. I still feel I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up.
There's some advantages to that too.
It is. Listen, I got started right around 2021. Right. I'll be 43 in November, and it's kind of it's just you do it once and that's it. It's all you want to do.
And that's how I felt about radio. It's like once you had the bug, it's like no matter what, you want it to be a part of your life, no matter what.
Right. 100%. And that's what it is. So I did what I had to do to get to this point, was work. Right, build up a company, do what I needed to do. Right. I still love that part of my life. I still, I'm extremely grateful for what we built at Shoreline, having the people and the team there to allow me to do. Right,
that's got to be so important. If you're having the right team, so you can do the other things that you can accomplish.
Yeah, I talked about that on a previous interview about just as a team as a whole,
right.
And not only Shoreline, but producing and whatever else. But yeah, it all comes down to the team who's holding down the fort.
Yeah. And now I can honestly say Joe Sernio has put out some of his best work. It's winning awards everywhere, including much of the United States and Canada. The short film is loved. I mean, according to IMDb, that's now 22 wins that this film has taken down in a bunch of festivals.
25 after
now
this
I'm 25 after this weekend. I mean, that's fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you, CJ.
For people who don't know, my take on a short film is that here's this little snippet. We're hoping to make a bigger film out of this, but we want to give you an idea of what we think about it in about 12 to 15 minutes.
Right.
That sound about right?
It is. Yeah. It is right. And there was a specific reason for Loved. Yes, it was to kind of showcase, a story and whatnot, but I had just gotten off of a feature film called The Bastard Sons. Really, really nice piece. One of my best friends directed, produced. I helped produce as well as act in the film. I had just gotten off of that, and like everyone else, just kind of looking at my next, what's next?
What's
next?
My
sure,
next absolutely.
And I was talking to a friend of mine, and it's the same thing. It's just like waking up every day, having the same routine. You get tired of the same thing all the time, and I had just finished that. I was watching Ozark, and I saw a friend of mine on Ozark.
Who was it?
Tom Pelfrey. Completely blew the scene out of the water. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember the taxi cab scene. I think it was like last season or whatever it was.
It does ring a bell a little bit. Yeah.
He was in back taxi cab, whatever it was. It was a phenomenal scene, and I looked and I said, "This is the stuff that I kind of want to do."
Right.
I don't want to be Joe Sernio in every single film or television piece or whatever else that I do.
Oh, I would think that as an actor, you want to be challenged, and that's
exactly it. Yeah. And it was an old friend that I knew if anyone could write something for me was DJ. I called up my buddy DJ Higgins, who I've worked with in the past on Meet Mario. I don't know if you remember that film, a couple other ones. And I said, hey, I'm looking for something a bit more challenging than what I'm used to.
Right, of course.
And I shit you not, he turned around. He goes, "I've been waiting to write something like this for you."
Oh,
and I said, "Okay." Less than 24 hours later, he basically sends me Loved. It was about 4 pages, I think, when he sent it. Back and forth. It basically turned into like a 12-page, monologue.
Right.
And it was completely different. Even he was kind of nervous.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted me to do it. I wanted to do it, but it was completely different than anything I've done in the past.
right.
And from there, it just escalated from shooting in Jersey to PA to Joshua Tree, California.
Yeah, I mean, this has been quite a journey. How many months of this traveling back and forth was going on? Or how many weeks, for that matter, I should say?
For pre-production, it was a few months just kind of getting everything ready to go.
Sure.
And then as far as prep for myself was about a little over a month, maybe 2 months.
Okay.
But back and forth for a while and planned the entire thing out. It was not always going to happen in Joshua Tree.
Mm-hmm.
It just so happens I was out there visiting a friend, and he read the script. And he goes, "This is Joshua Tree. You got to film this in here in Joshua Tree." And we drove around and looked, and I was like, "Wow, this is pretty interesting."
There's a lot of interesting coincidences that it just kind of came together.
It's a very dark story, a very dark piece, and the desert by yourself is a very dark and lonely place,
Which can mess with your head.
It worked. It worked perfect. I called CJ and I was like, "Hey, we're not going to shoot in PA. We're going to shoot in Joshua Tree." And he was silent for a little bit. And he goes, "We're really shooting in Joshua Tree?" Absolutely, we're shooting in Joshua Tree. Prep, did what we had to do. I packed my car up with a friend of mine who did all of behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. And from the second we got into my truck from Asbury Park, New Jersey, we filmed the entire drive all the way to Joshua Tree. Took us about a week from Jersey all the way to Joshua Tree.
Right.
Production-wise, we had a production house in the middle of the desert, flew everybody out into the desert, everyone from Jersey, a couple people from LA, actors, makeup, things like that. And the studio was from Fresno. And we shot a movie in the middle of the desert. And it was by far probably the absolute most challenging part that I've ever done, for sure. 100%.
And I've got the trailer, and I want to share this with everybody because if you're a fan of Joe's work on the Jersey Shore, anywhere you're at, you're going to see right away. Joe's looking a little grungier. He's looking a little more intense. And again, I think that's the challenge. And I think that it really, I can see it in your eyes and in your face. It's like the meat on the bone, so to speak, on this was just like, yes,
is the whole mentality piece of it, and
the
whole it was the completely different, feel and completely different. What's the word I'm looking for? Approach that I had to take to get to this certain part.
Let's take a look at it. This is the trailer for Loved featuring Joe Sernio. Check it out right now on the A Game.
I want to come home to you, baby. I do. I want to come home to you, but I can't. And who's going to take care of our baby, Simona, huh? Tell me, who's going to take care of her? You were selfish. No! I will kill you. Get down! Get out!
Stop! He didn't do anything.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Tell me, what did he have that I didn't? Promised him we would ignore the test of time. Junior. Carry me home to see my kin. My kin, baby, my kin. Our kin. Our kin.
Love is going across the country in festivals now, and is it showing up at the Garden State Film Festival by any chance?
It is. We're having a little friends and family screening Saturday night. at 8:30.
Okay, so
25th.
so the 25th. So if you're checking out CJ, scroll up so I can get the photo up there. The Garden State Film Festival, which I believe is what now, year 21 or
Oh yeah,
year 21. Go ahead, hit it. There you go, March 23 to 26, gsff.org. If you are around Asbury Park, New Jersey, you can get passes. You can get tickets for the screenings of all the things that are going on, including Joe's little film, Loved, which is going to be worth checking out for sure.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't believe it's been 21 years for the Garden State Film Festival.
How long have you been on the board now?
I've only been on the board 3 years, going on 4, but with the festival for about 18 years.
Yeah, in one way, shape, or form, whether it's winning an award or doing some stuff,
Yeah, the Rising Star Award,
Yeah.
and I have had a couple of films in there, and I just became very tight with the whole crew over there. So, but pretty. It's an honor to sit on the board, but 21 years is like,
I know.
And what an amazing festival! So I'm happy to bring some family, some friends out. We have a couple of people coming in from up north.
That's cool.
LA. So
that'd be a lot of fun. And by the way, also on the festival, not only Joe's thing, there will be the Independent Spirit Award for actor Ron Perlman, who, by the way, you may remember from Beauty and the Beast on CBS, which won him a Golden Globe. The film, scroll down a little bit because I'm going to give props to this movie because Photo 11, this is what made Ron Perlman a star. Hellboy.
Hellboy.
Without a doubt. And he wasn't a kid at that point. That's the funny part. He was a well-respected actor, but that one film, which came out about 20, so he's probably around 50 at this point, and there he is. Now he's a legitimate superstar.
Oh yeah, yep. And his the film that's playing at the Garden State Film Festival on Friday is I think it's The Baker. Is a very, very good film.
Been hearing great things about that.
Yeah, very good.
So that's cool that you can check that out as another option. You got a personal connection with one guy who's also getting an award, Ron Vidor, the cinematographer.
Yeah. Ron, I met through our mutual friend Peter Dobson.
Dobbs, how are you, bud?
We all love Peter Dobson.
Yeah.
I met Ron through Pete, and Ron goes. Check out Ron's IMDb, and it's like
I'm gonna get just to rattle off a few films in his camera work and cinematography. We'll go Rocky III, Stand By Me, Boogie Nights, Jaws, The Muppet Movie, The Jazz Singer, Funny Girl, The Big Chill, Carrie,
Romancing the Stone.
Romancing the Stone's another one. I mean, that's one whale of a resume.
It's unbelievable, and some of the work. It's not only the films, but the actual work, like the Boogie Nights.
Yeah.
The famous scene where it's just following the character from the driveway all the way through the house, through the backyard.
Yes,
one steady shot around. That's all Ron.
Oh wow!
So the shots that he's created in some of these films have been amazing. But we've became pretty tight. He's actually coming in for the festival. He's winning the Lifetime Achievement Award in
deservedly so. Yeah,
and he's also jumping on my next project, filming in Colorado in September. Yeah,
that's amazing.
It's going to be absolutely crazy to work with him. We got Dobson working on the film as
God!
Well, so you can imagine what that set's going to be like.
Dobbs, am I invited for the after party? That's the question. And not to go off on a tangent, but only you would appreciate this. I had actor Sean Kanan from The Bold and the Beautiful on my podcast, and literally he's telling a story. He's like, I'm not going on the air with this, but he tells me this crazy story about why is it everybody that knows Dobson's got a crazy story about Dobson?
You can if you're out in LA, like just happened last week.
Okay,
shit you not.
Okay, here we go.
I'm sitting. We sit down. Ron is there. Peter's there. We're all hanging out.
Yeah,
and we're talking, going over whatever. Through the entire dinner, there had to be 3 people that yelled Dobson. In the restaurant.
I'm love
not
it.
Kidding.
I love that.
And Dobson, he goes, "Hey, buddy,
yeah,
buddy, who are you again?"
Yeah.
No, but it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, and if you're not with Dobson, but you're talking about Dobson, and you don't say Dobson, that person that you're with knows you're talking about
Dobson.
Dobson.
That was the thing. It's like it's happened to me a couple times in these podcasts. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's like everybody smiles when you talk about him. Which I think is a great thing.
Tell me he's not one of the greatest guys that you've
First off,
ever met.
thank you, because you were a big reason why he came on my podcast.
He is
without
amazing.
A doubt. He was hilarious, and literally, I can tell he's playing along with me, but he's having a good time. And literally, he's going, this trip down memory lane, is it time to drink yet? It's like, can I crack open the bottle now?
Dobson. phenomenal actor as well.
Oh, he is. He is a phenomenal actor, and I wish him all the best. I mean, I know I still keep in touch with him. So thanks to you,
Yeah.
I made a friend out of him.
No,
So I
he's-
really
he's
appreciate
great.
that.
Glad I can make that connection.
No, that's great. No, and when I get the random shots, it's going to be about some of the connections that we do have in our worlds, and you've been a part of that, helping me out. I really appreciate the help.
Helped me out too. Bring
No,
me on your podcast. I mean, it all started with me pretending to be you at the Garden State Film
As a
Festival.
matter of fact, photo number 8, going back to that time, there we were.
To the left is
Yeah.
Rob. To the right is Joe.
There we go. The story goes, if you don't know, Sernio just decides to take that laminate around my neck and puts it on him. He's wandering through the whole Garden State Film Festival saying he's Rob Akampora from
The entire
radio.
time.
The entire time. That's true.
Telling people to call in.
The next day at the station
next
I was
day
working
division.
at. Yeah, I know.
Did you actually had people call in, right?
Yeah, I did have people call in. Oh my God, it was crazy.
Maybe we'll do it again this year.
I remember that. You came up to me.
It was fun.
No, that's the one thing. Your whole crew is just a blast. They're great
It's a
people.
good- we have a good time.
Absolutely.
We have a really good time.
Let me mention it one more time. The Ron Vidor panel, by the way, will be Saturday 25th. The Garden State Film Festival will be at 9:30 at the Berkeley Hotel. You can get your tickets for any specific event or for the whole festival. Just go to gsff.org and check out everything that's going on over
I think
there.
you got a picture of him.
As a matter of fact, pull up photo number 4 just to give you an idea. I saw this on social media. You
Oh,
posted.
look at that picture.
That is Paul Newman, and there's the work of Vidor. I'm trying to picture what movie he was doing with Newman, but still, it's Paul Newman. Holy crap!
Car one.
He's wait till you hear this guy's stories. Like the
my
actual
God.
stories from filming some of these movies are.
He's got to have some amazing stories just to be involved in that much of a resume of work. It's incredible.
I think he was telling me a story about one of Elvis's last films that he worked on.
Oh wow!
And I was with Peter and him at the time. It was just the stories are phenomenal. They're fascinating to just sit there and listen to that stuff.
Great stuff, man. Joe Sernio is here on the A Game. I'm going to go into random shots. There is another film we're going to talk about before we're done here, but I was kind of cluing in on the fact that Joe's had a hand in helping me out with a couple of guests here, and it's because of that influence. Dobson's one of them. And since we already talked about Dobson, we'll take Dobbs, you're off the hook on this one. But I'm going to give you a couple of the guests I've had, and you know the connections. So in one or two words, if you can describe what these guys mean to you or what you think of them. And I'm going to start with Gary Pastore from The Deuce on HBO.
Gary's. I have a feeling everyone that you're going to mention here has played a very big part in getting me to where I am.
I'm glad to hear
including
that.
Gary Pastore.
He's like I said, he and I just completely bonded. He's just fascinating. He's incredibly intelligent, and I don't think a lot of people realize how much he dives into a role, how much he dives into the art of acting.
Yep.
And that's the part I never realized.
Knows the
until I
craft, knows the business.
Yes, so
He's a
much
good,
so.
Great guy.
He's the
Great
best.
guy.
He's
He
the
really
best.
is. He really is.
Yeah. I mean, so it doesn't surprise me that, like you're saying, that here's a guy who had a real big influence on you.
Yeah, he has. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been, it all started way back in the day with Vinny Vella and all those guys, Artie Pasquale and Gary. You know, he was there from the very beginning for sure. Yeah.
Another guy I've had on my podcast that you have a connection with, Brian O'Halloran. He appeared in Bad Frank. He's running the gambit with Clerks 3. Describe him in your experience with him.
Another phenomenal actor and a great friend. I mean, he's you're sitting there and you're watching him in Clerks and this and that, and whatever else, and it's just like you never expect to just kind of be able to text somebody and be like, "Hey, happy birthday," or "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah,
or,
exactly.
Hey, I'm doing a film. You want to, I might have a part for you, whatever the case is. And he delivers. I mean, Bad Frank, he was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Another great character in my story.
Another person you've become connected with from your work at the Garden State Film Festival, Siobhan Fallon Hogan.
Siobhan. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Siobhan, great, another great person. Wasn't kind of later in the festival festival life, but put her on the list as well.
Yeah. And one other person who has been on my podcast that you're connected with because he appeared in one of your films, Konstantin Maroulis.
Konstantin, yeah. I only met him once.
Really?
I only met Konstantin once on set.
Okay. Because sometimes I do know when you're in a movie together, it doesn't mean your paths are going to cross because sometimes there are scenes that you're just not connected to.
Yep, like a lot of the scenes that I had were kind of off of different days or whatever from his scenes. But I think I bumped into him in an airport as well.
That's funny.
At one point after the film. Mm-hmm. But a lot of I think everyone everyone around here, I guess locally or whatever, has been, Jersey at least has been a very important piece to kind of filling in my puzzle.
Like I said, because of you, I get Dobbs. I think you had a little bit of a hand in Pastore for sure, and it's just the interesting connections with Constantine, with Siobhan, who's been on the podcast, with O'Halloran, who will more likely be episode 100. It can't be anybody else. Sorry.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
It's got to be O'Halloran.
Yeah, it's got to be. I would be remiss if I don't bring it up. It wasn't on our podcast, but the recent passing of Tom Sizemore. And you've worked with Tom. I mean, what can you give us a clue? Because he just seemed like a guy who was a tortured guy, dealing with his demons, but immense talent.
Yeah, his talent was amazing. I've only worked with him on Bad Frank.
Yeah.
Met him a few times, obviously on set.
Yeah.
I did not see any of the side that some talk about as far as the demons went on. I saw this just down to earth, sweet person. That's it. That's what I saw, and talented as hell. I mean, it was yeah. It's a shame,
It is.
Anyone dealing with that stuff. I know from friends, from personal reasons with family and whatnot. Mm-hmm. It's terrible, but at the same time, like I said, I kind of.
I wanted your take because, again, I've heard the stories, and you hear so many sides. To the one story that I heard was like the guy was barely conscious and still nailed every line that he was.
I think I just read something like that.
Yeah.
Where, he was having some kind of problem or whatever, but he still did whatever he needed to do to get it done and got into the part. So there's a lot of people out there like that can function, and that are still pretty talented or in what they have to be to get something like that done. But
absolutely,
it's
it's sad, but I would have been remiss if I didn't at least get your take on that.
Yeah,
for sure. One more thing on random shots, and I'm going to talk about another film that you have, because going on social media, actually I got two things. Give me photo number 9 first, because it's the interesting things you find out on social media. And I'm sitting here going,
Rob?
Yeah, we already know
Rob,
this is not true.
We'd be doing your podcast on a friggin' island somewhere.
Thank you. I thought so.
Right? I mean,
I'm like going, executive producer Joe Sernio. Thank you.
Wait, just a native who's born and raised in Church. I mean, that's right.
Right.
The Heights. That's right. 14 years.
Okay.
All my children tell you. Yep. Right. As the World Turns. Is all right.
Right.
Rescue Me. Love Monkey.
Yeah.
Wow. They got all that stuff.
They got all that stuff right, but then
except the worth.
Yeah, but you can take it off, CJ. But I mean, you see this happen with a lot of actors and actresses, where everybody's trying to predict the net worth. I mean, I saw one that said 1.7, then I see the one for 10 million. I'm going,
how do you think they come up with that?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. How does these things happen?
The government's definitely not involved.
Right.
So,
but we're in your mind. I mean, knowing that you are an entrepreneur and you've got other interests, it's not like they can really pinpoint and say, oh, because of this, he's worth this kind of money.
I have no idea how they. I mean, thank you, but
yeah, there you go. I know the things that you find on the internet.
Maybe you just told my future.
Hey, maybe.
Who knows?
That'd be good.
Knows?
I think you're worth $10 million.
Thank you, CJ.
I appreciate that.
CJ, well, I got you. One more photo. I'll tell you when to click on it, but it is going to be, that's the one. This you posted on social media. Now, before I explain the photo, I want everybody to look at this photo coming up. Go ahead, hit it. I look at this and I go, okay, this is Joe at 15, and he had long. This is your dad, right?
That is my dad. Yeah. Yep. That's my dad, and
your doppelganger too. I might. Oh my! I didn't. You just look at it and go, "You're your father." Oh
yeah.
My God.
I get that a lot now.
Yeah.
A lot now when my hair's combed and my hat's off and whatnot.
Right.
Yeah. That's a good one.
That was a great. No, I thought I had to share that because it's just you can see it in the face. It's like, oh my God, spitting image.
I was actually trying to grow my hair out that long for Loved, but it didn't work.
No, but the beard worked great. The beard. Yeah, you really let that fill in, and that helped. I think that
I didn't
helps
have as many grays the last time I saw it in my beard. I mean, there's some pictures on there that I guess it's the lighting, but you can really see the gray. I'm getting gray in my eyebrows.
What?
Yeah, you guys ever?
Oh.
CJ's like, yeah, I got it.
I'm going gray.
I don't have that problem anyway. Jeez. Oh God! But I'm jealous. I'm jealous of anybody that's got hair gray or not. But that's
grays. I don't mind it.
No. Hey, look, you earned every gray hair you got. Let's take a look at it, man.
Oh yeah, 100%.
No
I think I'm
doubt.
gonna go a little for the next project. I'll go longer.
No doubt.
So
Joe Sernio is here on the A Game. He mentioned The Bastard Sons earlier. This is one of 2 films you want to watch out for. How is this coming out, by the way?
the trailer is going to be released. I think sometime around June.
Okay.
My one of my good friends, Kevin Donato, he's working on that.
By the way, Kevin, you've been promising me for a year. Get your ass on this
hasn't been
podcast.
on
Bring
here
your
yet?
wife. Let's go.
He hasn't been on here yet.
He has apologized like 5 or 6 times.
Jerk. Kevin.
Last I saw, he was in Wisconsin.
Oh, scouting for his next film.
Yeah.
Yep. He just so when we got done with The Bastard Sons,
Right.
he left to do a film called Break with John Fallon, and I left to do Loved.
Right.
And I saw the trailer for Break. What a badass trailer. And I know they're having a lot of success with that. I know around a couple of festivals.
Nice.
A couple really nice write-ups from JoeBlow.com and a few other sites. But
Right.
he directed, produced The Bastard Sons, wrote it, directed, produced it, and it was a hell of a ride. Filmed throughout the Poconos.
Nice.
It was it was a pretty wild story.
Just
Al
pulling
Sapien.
I'm seeing all the people now that are involved in it. This is going to be a fun thing. As a matter of fact, answer me one question, because I wanted to mention this fact, and Dobbs, pay attention to this one. Your character in the movie is named Dobson?
Dobson.
Come on!
How cool is that?
All right, whose idea was to call your character
That
Dobson?
was all Kev.
Kev.
That was all Kev. Pete had a good part in helping with that. But yeah,
Right.
it was I got to play Dobson.
You got all
Yeah.
That's so great.
But it was myself. It was Kev, myself,
Right.
Frankie Edgar, Roger Matthews, Malik Whitfield. I mean, Al Sapienza.
Yeah, I'll be saying
We had a lot of talent, and Kev absolutely did a phenomenal job on that. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun to work on. Completely different from jumping from that to Love.
Yeah, I would imagine. I mean, it's like you really do have to shift gears majorly to kind of go, all right, now I got to shift mentally, physically, and emotionally to go from this role to that role.
Yeah, I did, and it was probably I'd rather do 1 or 2 films like that every year rather than multiple films where I had to get completely out of my comfort level.
Right.
That was actually, speaking of who one of the first people to tell me, Joe, you got to get out of your comfort level, Gary Pistor and Dave Schoner from Film Commission. Dave was a big part of that too, and Gary as well. He's like, you got to do something. You got to get out of your comfort zone. You got to get out of your comfort zone.
And that's a good guy to be an example of, because
Yeah.
he's always wanting to try to do different. He doesn't want to be, for lack of a better term, typecasted into one role. He will always try to find different roles to stretch himself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's exactly what I found. And
Yeah.
and I think after 20 years, I actually learned how to act in
Fantastic.
in this film.
That's Bastard Sons will look for the trailer in June, and then hopefully hitting festivals or theaters or
I think
streaming
it's
services.
yes, streaming services.
Okay.
It did get some kind of deal that Kev's working out, so hopefully it would be on all streaming platforms.
Cool. And I got one more I want to mention, because actually 2 years ago we actually sort of talked about this, but now found out in February this is getting massive distribution overseas. I know from what I've dug, it is running on Amazon Prime. Chronicle of a Serial Killer is a film that you're a part of.
Yep.
Really good cast. Jack Scalia, who is an All My Children alum, by the way. Was that about the same time as you? Or close to it? It was close
to it.
Close to it. Not
Close to
quite.
it.
Not quite. And he was well known in Dallas. Then you got Constantine
Dallas, I
Varoulas.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dominique Swain, who I remember from Face Off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dominique.
Yeah. Very good cast. So you're
Steve, Steve Stanulus was,
Steve-
and Donna McKenna, who cast me in that film. Donna and Steve go way back with a lot of me starting out as well.
I wanted to bring this to attention because, again, I think it's fantastic that it's getting more of a push overseas and it get out to more people, because obviously when a film's been out for a couple of years, or at least in wherever it is for a couple of years, you sit there and say, okay, maybe it's done what it's done, but then you find out it's going to get another life, and that's got to be a good feeling.
I was driving cross country with Christian, who did all the BTS for Loved, and
Right.
we stopped in I forget what state we were in. We stopped at a hotel, and I'm laying on the bed. I'm reading my lines, and Christian starts kind of yelling like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" And he points to the TV. And as I'm laying on the bed, he's got this picture of me laying on the bed reading my lines,
Right.
with me on the television. From you ever go in a hotel and it's like, in your hotel, here's what's playing in your hotel room,
Right, exactly, sure.
That was Chronicle of a Serial Killer was playing as I'm reading it was pretty cool. Like,
Right.
and then I think I saw it on United Flight too, which
That's cool.
was pretty neat too. Kudos to Steve.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
that.
Steve, congratulations on this. It is running on Amazon Prime as we speak, so you can order it. And if you do want to order it, let's give you a little teaser. Here's the trailer for Chronicle of a Serial Killer on the A Game. Check it out.
And the body of a 35-year-old woman that was found 2 nights ago has been identified by police. Her name is not being released by authorities because her family has yet to be notified.
I won't tell anybody. I swear I won't tell anybody.
Fractured skull, her throat was cut, and she was raped. Nobody mentioned a serial killer.
So I will see you later.
She won't bite, but I might.
You don't ask the questions! I do!
Something just isn't right.
Why don't you jump to square two and find the son of a bitch?
Basically, we got nothing.
Listen, when I'm fat and bald, that's when I'll call it quits. Look what you made me do! Go, go, go!
You're scaring the boy, Detective. That's not my intention.
By the way, in the trailer, you may have seen a peek of Joe. You also saw rapper, actor DMX, and that was actually his last film that he was alive to see before he passed on. And, you know, from what I gather, good worker, kind of played some of the same roles, but he really does play that role really well.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Yeah. You know, for an indie film, that's a pretty damn good cast that was put together.
That was great.
Yeah.
Steve does a phenomenal job on all his films with who he knows who he wants.
Right.
Cast
That's obvious.
wise, he knows who's going to fit the part, and he gets them. And him and Donna McKenna, they make a great team as far as casting, directing, producing stuff. So
you want to watch it, it's available right now on Amazon Prime. To wrap it up so I can just give everybody all the information, Garden State Film Festival, CJ, put the photo up one more time because it'll be next weekend, starting on Thursday through Sunday, 23rd through the 26th. Joe's film Loved will be appearing on the 25th, the Saturday. Find out more details at gsff.org. It's your chance to check out the film if you desire, and check out everything with the festival. You can get a group pass and check out every little piece of the Garden State Film Festival now in its 21st year. And congratulations on all the success of Loved.
thank you.
Absolutely,
Thank you.
man. Good to have you back.
So far,
here.
so good, and
Yeah,
we'll keep it going. I appreciate it. I'll come back anytime.
Oh, I know
that.
Oh, absolutely. Believe me, I'll throw up one more photo, photo number 7, because even when I was working at a radio station here, you know, Joe and I have done a lot of things together.
I had no hair there.
Yeah. CJ
little
is
bit of
laughing
hair,
only
but-
because, well, look, I work for Jersey's Rat Radio 95.9 The Rat. I don't work for that station anymore. So out of respect for my new station, I blocked out the logo.
Oh, I see it now.
Yeah, you can see it a little bit, but
That was nice.
it's a respect thing, you know?
Yeah,
Come on.
you gotta.
I get it. I get it.
Exactly. You know,
Something tells me CJ would have just kept the logo on.
yeah, well, you know, I did that personally. It was like I'm putting the photo over. I'm going, where's the black marker? Okay, let me do that.
Where was that picture?
We were in Tom's River, down at the I forget what they call it now. I don't know who sponsors it, but we were doing an event, and you brought in you were signing some autographs, and also you had Red Rose Bakery, one of your business businesses, doing some samples. I know you got a lot of business off of that too, so it worked out
cool.
really well. Yeah, no,
I appreciate that. It was a fun time too.
Oh, absolutely,
It was really cool.
Absolutely, you did a lot of things for.
What the hell was I thinking with my haircut?
Look, man, your hair
mug now.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Let's see. You know what? For you, that is a lot of hair. I gotta say,
right?
For you, that is I think that's the most hair I've seen on your head probably since the last time I was to the Garden State. Well, even this is more than the Garden State Film Festival too.
This has. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
no doubt
it has
about it.
A lot longer.
Bro, keep it going, man.
Thank you, buddy.
Love to see you. That's a wrap of the A game. All the technical difficulties, we still got it in.
Still did it.
My thanks to CJ Cullen for dealing with all the crap that came with it. We had a lot of fun. I'll be back again next Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific. For Joe Sernio, I'm Rob Akinport. Take care. Have a great week.